Okay, I'm going to talk about the consonants in Sinhala. There are several, well, one important thing to note about the Sinhala alphabet is that it isn't in fact an alphabet, it's actually a syllabary. The difference is an alphabet has one symbol for each sound. For example, in English, we have this letter. It's an L. It represents the sound oo. If you wanted to say la, you have to add another letter to it. And it becomes la. And, but in Sinhala, however, for the letter la, this actually is la itself. To shorten it to a l, you have to add something to it. So in that sense, it's actually different from English. This is called a syllabary. We have an alphabet. So those are the differences, so just keep that in mind. That being said, I'm going to go over all the consonants real briefly. There are 25 consonants altogether, so I'll go over them. Hopefully I'll remember them all. So to start off with, there's ka, that's ka. Or if you're using, I'm going to write all of these in IPA just because that's easiest for me. I think it's more clear and precise. In English letters though, it would be spelled like that, ka. Alright, so then you have wa, and this symbol can actually be used as wa, or as va, or as an in-between sound, which is like a w. It's kind of like a V, kind of like a V. Next you have ta. This is very similar to the T that we have in English, except it's pronounced farther back in your mouth. So if you pronounce it ta, you'd have to slide your tongue back a little bit in order to make the sound. It's retroflexed. So the symbol we would use for that is that sort of a T. A lot of Americans, not all, but a lot of Americans pronounce their R's as a retroflex R. So R. If you do pronounce your R that way, and some people pronounce their R by bunching their tongue together, or bunching it up in their mouth, but if you retroflex your tongue, you can feel that the tip of your tongue is sort of touching the roof of your mouth. If you pronounce your R that way, then just know that that is the same position that you should be pronouncing this T. It's farther back. It should sound more like a t, rather than a t. Hopefully you can hear the difference. I don't know if my camera, or I don't know if my video camera is good enough to pick up the difference, but hopefully it is. Another sound that's similar is this t sound. This T is interdental, which means instead of pronouncing it on the alveolar ridge, which is the ridge directly behind your row of teeth, instead of pronouncing it there, which is where we as Americans would pronounce it, you actually press your tongue up against the back of your teeth. If you're more visual, let me just draw this out for you real fast. Imagine this is your mouth. Here's your lip, here's your teeth, your alveolar ridge, the roof of your mouth, and it goes all the way back. Alright, so let's say your tongue naturally would lie like that. There's your tongue. To pronounce a retroflex T, your tongue should come up this way. More like that. T. To pronounce this T, it should come against the back of your teeth here. Hopefully that is helpful for you. I don't know for sure that it will be, but if you're more visual, it should help you. I know it's helped me anyway. Another consonant is pa. This is the very same as R, P in English. Next, ya, or as it would be spelled in English, ya. It's the same. There's sh, or, well, that's kind of a mix of English and IPA. IPA should be like this, but it's an SH sound. Oh, I don't think you're getting all this. There we go. Sorry about that. So here's the sh and a ya. Okay. And let's see. This is a j, or in English, j. We also have this, which is duh. This is exactly similar to the duh that we have in English, as in dad, dog, anything. It's pronounced in the same spot. They have a second D sound in Sinhala, however. It's similar to the differences between the t and the th. They have a d and a d. Actually, this is probably more retroflex as well, just like this T is. So you pronounce it farther back in your mouth, more against the roof of your mouth rather than behind your teeth. This one, similar to how the T is pronounced against your teeth. Not behind the teeth, but against it itself. Similar to the TH sound in English. Similar to a th or a the sound. Th is similar to this. The is similar to this. Some examples are the word that in English. This TH sound is very similar to this D sound. And with this TH, the word think, the TH in the word think is very similar to this TH. It's not identical, but if you have difficulties understanding the differences between the two T's or the two D's, then think of it that way. This would be more like a T, while this is more like a th, TH. This is more like a D, while this is more like a the TH sound. Alright, next we have a ba, which is very similar. We have ra, sa. You getting all that? Okay. Come this way. Sa. We have na. Ma. La. I already pointed that one out to you earlier. And then this is a fa. There are a couple of letters in Sinhala that are completely, entirely different from anything we have in English. So I'll address those more specifically here. The three I'm going to talk about right now are called pre-nasalized stops, is what they are. So for example, they have a letter which is, it looks like this, and it's a b sound, similar to this b here, but it's different in that it's called an amba ba. Amba is their word for mango, I believe. Yes. But amba is spelled with this b. The difference between the two b's is that in IPA, if they had used this b in the word amba, it would look like ba. But instead, it's actually pre-nasalized. So it looks like this, which means this is pronounced ba, and this is pronounced amba. And I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. I cannot get these pronunciations very well. But what happens is your velar is open when you pronounce the ba, which means that air can resonate within your nasal cavity while you're pronouncing this sound. So it gives it a nasal quality that we would normally never be able to give in English. There would be no reason to do so in English. So that's why for native English speakers it's very difficult. There are three other letters that are similar in that they are prenasalized stops. Another one is this one, which is like an ng type of sound. We're using English letters, it'd be like ng. And then you have Nda or nda. Nda. And nda. So like I said, I am not very good at all at pronouncing these 4 letters. I'm still working on it, but I have not mastered it yet. So hopefully I didn't miss out and didn't skip any letters. So I'll write a little note next to my video. You want to take one final look to review. Hopefully this has been helpful to you guys.